Yes.
day of my Israel trip. Rosie might look a bit different because Isabel cut my hair. Right. Tuesday, 24th February 1981. This morning feels like years ago. We left Chatseva at the usual early hour and drove to Masada. Most of us climbed up to the top. It took us 35 minutes and it was hard going. Some lazy people, e.g. Chilik and Tova, took the cable car. The site was much larger than I'd expected and very impressive, with buildings right on the edge of the mountain. It was a pity it was such a cloudy day because we couldn't see the view very well. Chilik, Mick and Eitan told us about the buildings, several of which had black lines painted on them to show what was original and what had been reconstructed. We saw a swimming pool, the first in the middle of the desert, proving they had an excellent supply of water. An enormous cistern, beautiful mosaics that had lasted 2,000 years, and also coloured wall panelling in the palace that had lasted that long. The palace was built for Herod the Great, and was the last free Jewish settlement before the Romans invaded, when they all then committed suicide rather than become slaves. The people who lived there were all self-supporting and very sophisticated. They even had a sauna with a raised floor for the air to circulate. It was all very interesting, but I was so tired that I couldn't concentrate properly. I was going to take the cable car down the mountain, but I made the effort and walked down, which nearly killed me.
Why?
I don't know, it doesn't sound very far, does it? But it was probably hot. And I remember this mountain jutting out and then all these buildings on top of it. It was just like a community, it had everything on this mountain, and they locked themselves in there when they knew the Romans were coming, and then they just all commit suicide.
Even the kids.
2,000 years ago. From Masada, we went to the Ein Gedi Nature Reserve. I was almost too tired to move, and so I didn't enjoy it much at first. However, there was a beautiful waterfall there which was actually warm. Lots of us threw on our bikinis, if you can throw bikinis on, and dived into the water. It was wonderful to feel clean again after the sandstorm yesterday, and getting hot and sweaty climbing up to Masada. We went to see another waterfall, even bigger, where several more people swam, and then we left. I didn't see any animals except a little brown furry thing on the mountainside, which is probably a koiku or a big rat, although there's supposed to be tigers and elephants there. Next we went to the Dead Sea. The weather by this time was cold and very windy, and it started to rain. However, this didn't stop me going in because I've been so looking forward to experiencing the strange feeling of floating on water as if you weighed nothing. I only stayed in a few minutes, about 2, and then I had a shower because the salt and minerals coat your skin when you get out. I had an embarrassing time trying to change, as I was the last person left on the beach and all these Israeli boys surrounded me and stared. So I went to the safety of our bus. I was glad to dress in warm clothes again as the weather was really quite cold. Had lunch. They're squished in there. We gave a lift to some hitchhikers on our way to Jericho. Here we stopped half an hour, long enough for many of us girls to buy a scarf from an Arab shop. Then we got on the bus for the last time. I fell asleep as we travelled back to Yagur. Back home, it was nice to see people who hadn't been on the trip. We unloaded the bus. It was sad to take everything off. We knew the trip had ended. There was a meal and our mail waiting for us. That was really nice. And they'd even changed our laundry day for us. My bed felt so comfortable that night. I can't believe we've done so much in 5 days. It was an experience of a